boy, do I miss you. I hope everyone is having a great week, and I hope you're having lots and lots of fun and enjoying the weather. The weather's so nice. Today it's a little breezy outside, and it feels so, so good. Okay, so this is Mrs. Soto's literature class, and it almost is looking like next semester, hopefully, we will be able to meet in person. And so I can't wait to see you. And I just want you to remember how awesome you are and how smart you are. And Mrs. Soto believes in you, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm proud that you're doing your schoolwork. I'm proud that you're being kind to your family. And I'm just so excited to even know you, because that's how much Mrs. Soto loves you. You guys are awesome. You inspire me. And I just hope you're doing awesome. All right, today the book we're going to do, you're going to be like, Mrs. Soto, that's such a baby book. I can already hear some of you right now. Now, I agree. It is a younger book, maybe. But it's pretty long. It's not super duper, pooper, scooper short, anything like that. But it is, you'll see the pictures. And some of you might even remember this book. Maybe you know this book from when you were younger, or maybe some of you have this book. I don't know. So the book is called Scuffy the Tugboat. Scuffy the Tugboat, okay? I'm going to show you a picture. Here's a picture of the book. What I like about this book, Mrs. Soto and why she picks books, most of them are because of maybe the character is kind, or maybe we can learn something from a character. That's one of the first things I look for when I'm going to share a book with you all is, how could my friend, my students, what could they learn from this book? How would this help them? And how would this help me, even Mrs. Soto? So I really do like this book, and I promise you will like it too. I really do think you will like it. So I want you to pay attention. I want you to listen up, and I will go ahead and read the book, and then I'll show you the pictures. The pictures are cute. And so my family is home, so you might see a few come in and out. I don't know. We'll see. But this is kind of the new normal right now, right? Everyone doing school from home, and I'm sure a lot of your moms and dads are working from home. And so they're probably like, okay, don't come knock on the door. I'm going to be in a meeting, or I'm busy right now, or just go do your schoolwork in the other room. It's kind of crazy what life is like right now, but it's all right. You just do what you can, and be good to people, be kind to people, and we'll get through this. All right. So this book, Mrs. Soto's got her handy dandy Diet Coke today. It's one of those days. If any parents are watching this, it's one of those days. McDonald's Diet Coke. Every once in a while, you just got to splurge. All right, so here we go. Mrs. Soto's going to go ahead and read the book, and then I will show you the picture. Are you ready? And maybe get your brother or sister. Have them come in and listen. It's a great book. All right. Scuffy was sad. Scuffy was cross. Scuffy sniffed his blue smokestack. A toy store is no place for a red-painted tugboat, sighed Scuffy. And he sniffed his blue smokestack again. I was meant for bigger things. Why am I here? And this is Scuffy. I think you can see it, yeah. And he is in a toy store right now. And he's thinking to himself, I'm better than this. Why am I stuck in this toy store? Perhaps you would not be cross if you went sailing, said the man with the polka dot tie who owned the shop. So one night, he took Scuffy home to his little boy. He filled the bathtub with water. Sail, little tugboat, sail, said the little boy. I won't sail in a bathtub, said Scuffy. A tub is no place for a red-painted tugboat. I was meant for bigger things. The next day, the man with the polka dot tie and his little boy carried Scuffy to a laughing brook that started high in the hills. Sail, little tugboat, sail, said the man with the polka dot tie. And this is him in the bathtub. You can see. It's him in the bathtub, and he's kind of, Scuffy's like, I'm not meant for a bathtub. I'm meant for bigger things. And then there's the man and the little boy, and they take him to a stream. And I'm sure Scuffy is so excited to be in that stream, because isn't that what he wanted? We shall see. It was spring, and the brook was full to the brim with its water. And the water moved in a hurry, as all things move in a hurry when it's spring. Scuffy was in a hurry too. Come back, little tugboat, come back, cried the little boy, as the hurrying, brimful brook carried Scuffy downstream. Not I, tooted Scuffy, not I. This is the life for me. And he was excited to leave that little boy and the dad. So there they are. Scuffy's in a big stream. And finally he thought, I'm free, I'm free. Because remember, at the beginning of the book, he said, I am made for bigger things than this. All that day, Scuffy sailed along with the brook. A brook is just another name for like a stream. Maybe some of you will take hikes, and maybe you'll go to like, I don't know, like Lake Tahoe, or even down by the Sacramento River, but you'll see streams or water, rushing water. So a brook is just another name for like a stream. It's not as like some of the water, like in the river, it goes really, really fast. You know, a brook doesn't really do that. It kind of just slowly goes, but to a little tugboat, he thought he was going super duper fast. So all that day, Scuffy sailed along with the brook, past the meadows filled with cowslips, past the women washing clothes on the bank, past the little woods filled with violets. Cows came to the brook to drink. They stood in the cool water, and it was fun to sail around them between their legs and bump softly into their noses. Oh, this is what I was made for, said Scuffy. It was fun to see them drink, but when a white and brown cow almost drank Scuffy instead of the brook's cool water, Scuffy was very frightened. That was not fun. So this is Scuffy sailing down the brook. You can see him seeing the ladies doing the laundry. In the olden days, that's how they used to do laundry. They would wash them in a brook or a stream, and then they would hang them up to dry. Now we have wash machines. And then you can see the cows, and they're coming and drinking by the water, and there's the cow that almost slurped up Scuffy. So he was a little afraid. Now, don't you think that that your mom is happy that we still don't do laundry like this? Mrs. Soto's happy. Maybe some of you help your mom with the laundry. And can you imagine, like, it might be fun for a while, right? Like, you get your big old things of laundry, and we're like, okay, let's go down to the Sacramento River. Woohoo! And then you have to wash all your clothes in the river, bring soap, pour it on, scrub-a-dub-dub, and then come home and have to hang them all up to dry. I mean, it's like an all-day, maybe 2 days a week ordeal just to do laundry. Now what do we get to do? Bring down, you know, our rooms are upstairs. We have a two-story house. So we have to bring the clothes down the stairs and then put them in the washing machine. And, you know, Mrs. Soto sometimes like, oh, I got to bring the clothes down the stairs. What am I complaining about? At least I don't have to go down to the brook or the river and wash them like that. Silly Mrs. Soto, I shouldn't be complaining. I sound like Scuffy. So there Scuffy goes. Now he's kind of thinking, this is kind of what I wanted to do. This is what I was made for. But wait a minute, why did that cow almost slurp me up? And then night came, and with it the beautiful moon. There was nothing to see but the quiet trees. Suddenly an owl cried out, "Hoot, hoot! Toot, toot!" cried the frightened tugboat, and he wished he could see the smiling face of the man with the polka dot tie, because he was kind of scared, and this strange owl was talking to him, and he was tooting back, but he was really scared, and he was thinking, I wish I could see that nice man again with that boy. Why did I complain? When morning came, Scuffy was cross instead of frightened. Cross means he was mad. He was upset. So when morning came, Scuffy was a little mad. He was a little upset instead of being frightened. I was meant for bigger things, but which way am I to go? He said. But there was only one way to go, and that was with the running water where the two brooks met to form a small river. And with the river sailed Scuffy, the red-painted tugboat. So there's Scuffy right here with the owl and the moon. And you can see by his face, if you could see up close, he's pretty scared. He's thinking, oh, I wish I could see my friend again. But he stayed out, and then the morning came, and this is him. And then he kind of thought, I'm not scared. I'm a tough tugboat. And then he thought to himself, I'm made for bigger things. I'm going to keep on going. So there he goes. He's going down the brook. And it says he's actually going into the river now. Kind of like we live by the river, Sacramento River. So he was proud when he sailed past all the villages. People build villages at the edge of my river, said Scuffy, and he straightened his blue smokestack because he was so proud of himself. Once Scuffy's river joined a small one jammed with logs. Here were men in heavy jackets and great boots walking about on the floating logs, trying to pry them free. Toot, toot, let me through, demanded Scuffy. But the men paid no attention to him. They pushed the logs apart so they would drift with the river to the sawmill in the town. Scuffy bumped along with the jostling logs. Ouch, he cried as two logs bumped together. So let me show you the picture to kind of show you what I mean. This is Scuffy sailing down the river thinking, look at this beautiful city. All these people made this little village right next to my river. And then, and this is like in the olden days, just like when they were washing, doing their wash out in the river. Why do you think back in the olden days, everybody think about this, why do you think they would build villages or like towns on the river or like next to the river? Why do you think that would be? Now, do you think that they could just turn on the water in the house and all of a sudden they would have water? They didn't. And so the reason that they built along rivers and brooks and streams is so that people that lived there in those villages, they could get to water, because we all need water. We all need water to live. And so that was a way that they were able to always have water and they wouldn't run out of water. So nowadays we're so spoiled, right? We just turn on the water and the water comes out. But back in the olden days, they needed water to bathe in. They needed water to drink. They needed water to clean their clothes. And so they would go down and get that water down at the stream or the river. And so, okay, so Scuffy's all proud of himself, like, oh, look at me. This is my river that I'm going down, and they made all these villages, and I get to sail down them. Then all of a sudden, he saw these men, and they were trying to get these logs and get them together, and look at, he got mixed in between them all. And then two of those logs actually bumped into him, and he's like, ouch. And I think Scuffy's thinking, maybe I wasn't meant for this. I don't know. We'll see. This is a fine river, said Scuffy, but it's very busy, and it's very big for me. I think maybe a little too big. He was proud when he sailed under the bridges. My river is so wide and so deep that people must build bridges to cross it. This is simply amazing. The river moved through big towns now instead of villages. And the bridges over it were very wide enough so that many cars and trucks and streetcars could cross all at once. Now look, I'm going to show you this picture, and you can see this bridge. And if any of you have ever been to San Francisco, you know what it's like to cross a bridge from one land to the other. Kind of like how this is, right? And back then, men started making bridges. And they made bridges because, look, the only way they could get from this side to this side is if you had a boat. But since they built a bridge, now look, anybody could get over there. And so pretty smart. So Scuffy was all excited to be part of that. He felt like this is his river and this is, he was part of all that. But the river got deeper and deeper. Scuffy did not have to tuck up his bottom, because before when he would go along the river, sometimes he would scrape along the bottom, so he'd have to like tuck up his bottom. Well, he didn't have to do that now. The river moved faster and faster. I feel like a train instead of a tugboat, said Scuffy as he hurried along. He was proud when he passed the old sawmill with its water wheel. But high in the hills and the mountains, the winter snow melted. Water filled the brooks and rushed from there into the small rivers. Faster and faster it flowed to the great river where Scuffy sailed. There is too much water in this river, said Scuffy as he pitched and tossed on the waves. Soon it will splash over the top, and what a flood there will be. Soon great armies of men came to save the fields and towns from the rushing waters. So this is the one town that he passed through, and he's thinking, oh, this is so beautiful. Well, all of a sudden, things started to flood. And do you see Scuffy down here? And see even the chair? And so men started helping different people and different things that fell into the water. Well, all of a sudden, Scuffy's pretty scared. They filled bags with sand and put them at the edge of the river. They're making higher banks for the river, shouted Scuffy, to hold the water back. The water rose higher and higher. What they're trying to do, let me finish and I'll show you the picture. The men built the sandbags higher and higher. Higher went the river. Higher went the sandbags. At last, the water rose no more. The flood water rushed onto the sea, and Scuffy raced along with the flood. The people and the fields and the towns were safe. So when the water was coming and the storm was there, everything was flooding. And do you see here? This is the land where people were, and they would put sandbags along here because they didn't want the water to come up to the land. And so they kept doing that, so it wouldn't flood. And finally, the storm passed. It didn't flood anymore. The people were safe. And there goes Scuffy. On went the river to the sea. At last, Scuffy sailed into a big sea. Here, the river widened, and all about were docks and wharfs. Oh, it was a busy place and a very noisy place. The cranes groaned as they swung the cargoes into great ships. The porters shouted as they carried suitcases and boxes on board. Horses stamped and truck motors roared. Streetcars clanked and people shouted. Scuffy said, "Toot, toot!" But nobody noticed. Nobody could hear him. And this is Scuffy moving into the big city. See that? So much going on. And you can see, look at Scuffy way down there compared to those big old ships. Now, Scuffy thinks he's a big ship. And he thinks he can move along with all these other ships. But I think he's soon to realize nobody can hear him. Nobody noticed. "Oh, oh," cried Scuffy when he saw the sea. "There is no beginning and there is no end to the sea. I wish I could find the man with the polka dot tie and his little boy. I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't complain." Just as the little red painted tugboat sailed past the last piece of land where he thought he's going into the ocean, out into the sea, never to be found again, a hand reached out and picked him up. And there was the man with the polka dot tie with his little boy right beside him. So this is him. See, he's going out to the sea. He's going away from all the big ships and the land, and he's going out to the sea. And he's like, wait a minute. If I could only find the man with the polka dot tie and the little boy, I would never complain. Scuffy is home now with the man with the polka dot tie and his little boy. He sails from one end of the bathtub to the other. And you know what? He never complains anymore. he realized how awesome it was to be safe. "This is the place for a red-painted tugboat," said Scuffy, "and this is the life for me." And this is Scuffy. And this is them picking him up for the last time, saving him, bringing him back to, let's look at the very beginning, back to this bathtub where, remember, Scuffy said, "I'm not made for this. I'm made for bigger things." And then he realized at the end, you know what? He had a great life after all. And sometimes things might look awesome, and sometimes you might think, "I need that toy. That toy is going to be the most amazing toy ever." And then you get it and you're like, I wasted all that money for that. Maybe we should think, you know what? I have a lot of toys. I have an amazing life, and I need to be thankful for what I do have. And I think Scuffy learned that after he went through all the brooks, the streams, the rivers, into the ocean. So, all right, so that's the story of Scuffy the tugboat. And I thought it's just a cute little story. I love you guys. Let's learn from Scuffy. Let's make sure that we are happy with what we do have and where we are. Remember to be kind to people, love people, be good to your mom and dad. And Mrs. Soto shall see you very soon. Have a great week.